Sandy Mangels, and welcome to day 354. It's Country Day today, and this number was released in 1965 by Buck Owens, who would become best known as the co-host of the cornpone country comedy show Hee Haw from 1969 to 1986. That show was a staple in our household, even more so than Lawrence Welk. Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy is one of several songs in which somebody in a Santa suit is mistaken for jolly old Saint Nick. Other songs include I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus and I Saw Daddy Kissing Santa Claus. And the entire plot of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas depends on this case of mistaken identity. Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy has been covered by multiple country music artists, including Garth Brooks, Travis Tritt, and Brad Paisley, as well as by the Psychobilly Trio, Reverend Horton Heat, and the rock group Bowlin' for Soup. And I'm dedicating today's song to Josh Lewis and Jeff Reuter. Jeff is a professional Santa, and Josh really likes Santa daddies. In Portland, they give our bear community presents all year long by hosting their pool parties. So I want to give something back to them. Josh and Jeff, this song's for you. Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa was much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. Well, they thought that I was fast asleepin'. They thought that I was tucked in bed. They never figured I'd come a-peepin', or that I'd hear what was said. Santa put his arm round Mama, and Mama put her arm round him. So if Santa Claus ain't Daddy, well, I'm a-gonna tell on them. Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, well, Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa was much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. I never saw a dancer or prancer. I never heard the sleigh bells ring. I never saw a red-nosed reindeer like they show on the TV screen. But he sure brought lots of presents, so Santa Claus he must have been. Well, he sure looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa was much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. Well, Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like him. It's not the way I had him pictured. Santa was much too thin. He didn't come down the chimney, so Mama must have let him in. Santa looked a lot like Daddy, or Daddy looked a lot like Daddy looked a lot like Daddy looked a lot like him. Ho, 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 ho! Happy holidays! Well, I hope that you enjoyed that Santa-rific song, and I hope as you look forward to Christmas Eve coming up and Christmas that you get and you give a lot of Santa hugs. Anytime you see anyone who looks like Santa, I want you to ask them if you can hug them. Because I'll tell you, any man with a beard loves getting hugs. It's one of the things about having a beard that makes us so magical. Now, if you love my songs, you can check out 354 of them up on my YouTube page right now. You can listen to them in any order, or you can listen to them in curated playlists. All I ask is, just like presents, when you open them, clean up that wrapping paper and hit the thumbs up button. That's the like button. Maybe hit subscribe and leave a comment or two. It's kind of like leaving a thank you card. Now, I will be back here tomorrow with a Christmas song about one of the season's most depressed denizens. And if you're wondering who that could be and why they are so depressed, you're going to have to tune in tomorrow to find out. In the meantime, remember to hug your Santas and hug your daddies if you can. And I will see you soon. Have a great day today and happy holidays.